doing well. We're going to go over this fake love people have for Dr. Martin Luther King that we know damn well they did not have this kind of love for him when he was living. And it's an abomination for them to even walk up to us and quote this man, especially when there's all kinds of footage on here with them watching these folks marching through the streets. They were throwing bottles, rocks, bricks, anything they could get their hands on, they were throwing it. But now we're supposed to fake up some memory about him that never happened. And we're just not going for that at all. So we're going to go over what really happened during the time that Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday was becoming a federal holiday. And it was a discussion that went on for a long time. And ladies and gentlemen, it was the Republicans that unanimously opposed the holidays. So when they come to us talking about, well, the Democrats did Jim Crow and the Democrats, well, they opposed Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. All of them, ladies and gentlemen, not some of them, not a few of them, all of them, the entire Republican Party rejected this federal holiday. So the Republicans do not have a leg to stand on in telling us nothing. That's just like when they try to tell us, Black people sold Black people into slavery, as if the people that bought the slaves were better. Okay, so let's say they did sell them into slavery. You bought them, so what makes you better? So it is just nothing but a word game when it comes down to these folks. And it's ridiculous. And, we shouldn't have to keep enduring this fakery from these folks. They didn't have no love for this man. Come on. And no, they don't get to walk up and quote him as if they embraced him back then. They never did. See, these folks, it just go to show you how morbid they are too. Ladies and gentlemen, you notice how they love anything that's dead. If it's dead, all of a sudden they got love for it. It's ridiculous. So let's get down to the facts. Celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King. What a joke. What a joke, y'all. Let's just get down to it. Now, also, before we get started, excuse me, before we get started, some of you in previous live streams were asking me about Cash App, PayPal, and stuff. If you come to, I'm going to share my screen so I can show you where it is. You are more than happy. If you want to do a super chat, you certainly can. Let me see if I can share my screen here with you. This is my secondary channel, so you can do a super chat on here. But in the event that you don't want to do a super chat, ladies and gentlemen, just look right here in the description box. You'll see my Cash App, my PayPal, and this is my Streamlab page where you can go and give a donation. And you can give a donation as little as $1 all the way up to $10, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go over there. So you have more options other than super chat. So let's get to Dr. Martin Luther King here. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we all know what happened to Dr. Martin Luther King. Whether you agree with what he did or not, that's really not what I'm trying to bring out today at all. What I am trying to bring out and talk about today is not only how bad this man was treated, but the lies that are being told today. Now, they want us to believe that Dr. Martin Luther King whole life was based on the I have a dream speech. That is so false. This man was way more complex than that. Okay, he was way more complex than one speech. But that's what they have reduced him down to, ladies and gentlemen. They reduced this man down to one damn speech. Now, how unrealistic is that? Now, we know Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday is a federal holiday, but it was not always like that. It took a long time for this holiday to even go into effect. Now, the fakers want you to believe that, this was an easy transition. It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. In the beginning, when they were trying to pass this as a federal holiday, it was the northern states that approved it between 1973 and 1975. It was Illinois, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and by court order, New Jersey. Now, it did gain some momentum, but see, at that time, the holiday was approved, but it was optional on whether you celebrated or not. So everything was technically still open during those times. But at state level, momentum slowed. Congress did not act. Advocates led by Coretta Scott King spent years lobbying for this holiday. And they were able to gather millions of signatures. And back in 1979, Jimmy Carter did express interest in making this a federal holiday. And many of you may remember Stevie Wonder's Happy Birthday. And he was also very prominent in trying to get the holiday counted as a federal holiday back then, Stevie Wonder. So around 1983, that's when Congress passed the King Holiday Bill, and Ronald Reagan at the time signed it into law. The third Monday in January would be celebrated as MLK Day, starting in 1986. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I worked back then. And let me tell you what these folks were saying on the job. I don't want no day off. Why do we have to have a day off? I want to work. This was coming from white people. I heard them say this stuff with my own two ears. They were pissed. Who the hell is going to be pissed off over a day off that you're getting paid for? But they managed to find a way to be pissed off, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, they managed to find a way to be pissed. So who opposed Dr. Martin Luther King? This is what I really want to get into. Proposals to honor Dr. King met strong resistance in Congress. And when the holiday was enacted, many states were slow to acknowledge it. New Hampshire became the last state to officially recognize the holiday in 1999, after years of other states already celebrating the holiday. They were the absolute last one. Are we surprised? No, there's really a lack of Black people up in New Hampshire anyway. When the proposal to create the holiday was debated in Congress in 1979, Republicans led the charge against it. The strongest opposition came from lawmakers in the Deep South, like that's a real shocker, such as Jesse Helms and Strom, I have a black daughter, Thurmond. Republicans of South Carolina, who ran for president in 1948 as a segregationist. Opponents argued that giving federal employees a new paid vacation day would be too expensive. No, it wouldn't. And that it was inappropriate to bestow such an honor upon Dr. King because he never held elected office, according to an essay by Donald R. Wolfenberger. What a name, Wolfenberger, a congressional scholar at the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars. When the measure failed in 1979, Representative Curtis Collins, Democrat of Illinois and leader of the Congressional Black Caucus at the time, said she believed that racism played a role in the holiday being rejected in Congress. But by 1983, many Republicans in Congress had changed their minds. The King holiday bill passed the House and the Senate with bipartisan support and was signed by a Republican president. But not everyone came around to the idea. Mr. Helms had filibustered. Now remember, this is the Republican senator from North Carolina. He filibustered the bill and denounced Dr. King on the Senate floor. So he claimed, someone who advocated action-oriented Marxism and other radical political views. This is what he's claiming about Dr. King. Now, the whole time Dr. King was alive, I was small at the time, but I never heard of him being a Marxist, okay? And what is a Marxist? And ask them to define what a Marxist is. These people are so stupid, they will tell you something and they don't even know the meaning of it themselves. What's a damn Marxist? Where does the holiday stand today? Well, although Martin Luther King Jr. Day is commemorated by the federal government in some forms, but all 50 states, some like Arizona and Idaho, combine commemorations of Dr. King's birthday with a holiday to honor civil rights. So in other words, they just can't muster up a way to just let this day be about Dr. King. They have to throw something else in there. Okay, so a release by Nueces County in Texas referred to the day as County Civil Rights Day. Dave Leventhal posted a tweet that said, Monday is not Martin Luther King Jr. Day in Nueces County, Texas. It's a county civil rights holiday. So he's denying, although this holiday has now been in effect since 1986, you got a man in Texas that's still denying this birthday. But remember, these folks love Dr. Martin Luther King. Oh, yes, they just loved him. And you see how fake that is? This man put this tweet out January 14th, 2017. So he said, Monday is not Martin Luther King Jr. Day in Nueces County, Texas. It's county civil rights holiday. Still won't accept it. Biloxi, Mississippi drew backlash on Twitter last week after the city's official Twitter account posted an alert to residents about municipal closings on the holiday, calling it Great Americans Day. Great Americans Day. So they're saying it's not Martin Luther King's birthday, it's Great Americans Day. And this was just a week ago. This was just 1 week ago. The tweet was later deleted, but you know how the internet is. Once you put something out on the internet, ladies and gentlemen, It is there forever. All right? It's there forever. It doesn't matter if they deleted it. So what? The controversy prompted a special city council meeting to consider making the city holiday name match that of the federal holiday honoring Dr. King. Now, why haven't you done that already in Mississippi? How are we in 2020 and you are still trying to label this day something else other than Dr. Martin Luther King Day? But they are. They are. On Monday morning, the council voted 6-0 to do so, with one member absent, according to the video footage from ABC WXOX. And then there are a few states in the Deep South, Arkansas, Alabama, and Mississippi, that combine celebrations of the civil rights icon and that of Robert E. Lee, the Confederate failed general that they love. Robert E. Lee kidnapped Black men that were fighting for the Union and forced them to fight for the Confederacy because his sorry soldiers could not win the war. So in those states, it's not just Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, it's also Robert E. Lee Day. Lexington, Virginia even honors Lee and another Confederate general, Stonewall Jackson, with a parade and celebration during the weekend leading up to Dr. King's birthday. Just can't let this Black man have one damn day. Just can't do it. But you want to come and quote King to us, and don't come to us talking about, well, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't mention your fucking name in what I'm saying. So don't come up to me with that crap. You ain't fooling nobody with that garbage. Critics have decried those arrangements as an unholy merger that commemorates both freedom and slavery, a combination that is nonsensical at best and inflammatory at worst. So Virginia is another state that just can't celebrate King. They have to celebrate Confederates that definitely don't deserve it. Don't deserve a damn thing. We're looking for a solution to a problem we don't have, Josh Miller, a Republican state representative in Arkansas, told the Associated Press. I haven't noticed, he's trying to say he hasn't noticed any Robert E. Lee parades that are taking place in conjunction with Martin Luther King holiday. That's not the point. The point of the matter is you are throwing in Robert E. Lee on a day that was given to Dr. Martin Luther King, a federal holiday. There is no federal holiday for Robert E. Lee, so he should not be thrown in there at all. And the problem with these Southerners, they are sore losers. They lost the war and they are still trying to hang on to these failed generals. When you go and look at how they led their regiments, they did a horrible job. That's why you lost. So there are many states, as you can see, there's still some states that refuse to just celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King. They are trying their best, if they had it their way, not to celebrate this man at all. Now, do I agree with everything King did? No, I certainly don't. But this is really aimed towards those that have spent a lot of time preaching to us about Dr. King as if this is what we need from them. We don't need sermons from these people talking about Dr. King. I certainly don't. And when they come to you, all you need to do is tell them, I've seen the footage of how y'all treated Dr. King. You did not like this man when he was living. And just throw that up in their face. And if they start that, well, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't name you, did I? I didn't say you did it. But we have footage that we can go back and look at and clearly see white people had no love for this man. It's the truth. And the fact that these states are still trying to throw Confederate soldiers and everything else in on the day tells you right there, they still have a deep hatred for this man. They still have it. It has not gone anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. And we must shut this down. We must shut down those that are coming to us to try to quote him. And it's just nothing but a form of manipulation. Okay, it was. They have no business getting up in our faces talking about nothing. These motherfuckers are still celebrating presidents that were slave owners and rapists and murderers and everything else. Okay, I don't want to hear from these people when it comes down to Dr. King, whether I liked him or not. That's irrelevant. But anytime we raise our voices to complain about the things that are going on and impacting the Black community, hear one of them come talking about Dr. King. Well, what would Dr. King think? Dr. King would think, why is this white person who hated me when I was alive trying to quote me? That's what he would think. Why is this person mentioning my name and they come from a group of people that hated me when I was alive? That's what he would think. I know what he would think. That's what he would think. So, ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line is King's birthday is a federal holiday. And as you can see, there are still people in these states that resent it to this very day. They resent any Black man being on their calendar. Plain and simple. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is, this was really a short live stream. So I want to thank all of you for taking your time to come out. And I know I think we're like a week away from the holiday. So, I mean, look, this is a good teaching moment for our kids. And even if you think King was not a good leader, have that discussion. There's no discussion that should be taken off of the table in our Black households when it comes down to our children. Okay? So have those discussions if you don't agree. Have those discussions. Make sure your kids know the truth. Even tell them how these folks have no business quoting this man at all. They have no business quoting him. So, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the rest of your day. Peace, family.